Good evening, everyone on YouTube who have joined me here live on the Limitless Show. Welcome to the 73rd episode of the Limitless Show. And I have a very, very special guest with me. He helps people in creating wealth on command. Who can say amongst us that we do not want wealth at our command, at our service, whenever we want it? Because financial freedom and financial self-dependence is a goal for the majority of people in this world, where they can lead a life of their own choice and their income is not dependent on anyone else but their own selves. So today's guest, Mr. Dev Sethi, is the founder and CEO of Wealth on Command, and he is recognized globally as the Sales Champion of the Year 2019 across 150 countries and works with clients around the globe to maximize their growth and impact online. And this has resulted in record sales for them and their businesses, where they have generated over USD 6 million for his clients over the pandemic period. He's a visionary entrepreneur and a multi-award winning business growth strategist. He is also on a mission to transform 10 million lives globally to become financially self-dependent. And he has a background in IT software development and successfully transitioned into entrepreneurship, a full-time entrepreneur now, and creating this global movement. So wealth is beyond just money, which we are going to talk about once Dev is here. He is also a keynote speaker and he has spoken at multiple national and international conferences. So with a warm round of applause, let's bring on Mr. Dev Sethi.
Hello, happy to
Thank you
be here.
so much. Yes, absolutely glad to have you here. Totally humbling. Thank you so much, Dev. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Happy to be here. Doing well yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Today is Ganesh Chaturthi, so it's a very auspicious day for people in India, and great to have you on this show.
Perfect.
So, Dev, from being into IT development, what made you come into full-time entrepreneurship? Was it something that you used to dream of earlier on, or was it something that happened?
So it was something that I always wanted to do. But let me share a quick story with you, and that will give you a perspective of things, right? So I'm born in Thailand. I grew up in India. I live in Australia now. Okay. And the only reason I came to Australia is because my parents, they have a family business, but the business sort of tanked, right? And I was still dependent on them, and I wanted to be independent and live the life I want so I can give back to my family as well. And the only way I found is, hey, let me find a job in Australia. So I came to Australia. This was like 15 years ago. Immigrant, programming is all I knew. So I just entered IT programming. And when I kept going, only I had one dream, that one day I will give back to my parents, to my family, because they've sacrificed so much for us. I've had all the best educations, and now I want to give back to them. That's the only dream I had. So I came to Australia. I just worked in a job, and after 1 year, I was like, that's it. I just don't want to. I want to quit my job now. I want to start my business. So it was 2007, and I called my dad up and I said, hey, you know what? I want to actually start my business. He's like, look, we're going to have some problems here because the global crisis was coming around the corner. And he said, stay in your job, get more skills. And when you're ready, then maybe move. So that gave me a lot of focus.
Right.
And I said that really to get into business, I needed to actually learn a lot of skills. And the job was a really fantastic way to do it. So I stayed in the job, I grew in the job, and eventually I was able to buy a car for my dad as well. I got a Honda Accord. This was way back in 2008, right? And I was
Right.
really, really proud. So fast forward 10 years, in 2018, I was still in a job, but by this time I'd grown in my job. And
Mhm.
this is when the transition actually happened, right? And I forgot about business. I said, look, I'm in a job, I'm doing fantastic. And what happened is there was one day that my dad came to visit me in Australia. It was a Thursday and he was with me. And then on Friday, he flew back to Thailand. And on
Mhm.
Saturday, he entered ICU. So, yes, he was in hospital. His heart rate went from 80 to 190. And in that
Okay.
moment, all my dreams that I had that I want to give back to my family all came back again. And I was like, I've not done much. I want to be
Mm.
able to do much for my family. So I flew back to Thailand, and sitting in the ICU room at the footstep of the ICU room of the bed, I said, I just hope and pray that my dad survives. Right. And that's exactly what happened. He's alive now. He's very healthy. And in that moment, I
Mhm.
felt life gave me a second chance.
Right.
And when I understood that second chance, I'm like, this is it. This is it. I got to find a way to transition from my job into my business. And that's really what sparked the whole idea of me coming into my business with the aim of giving back to my family.
Right.
So for the next 2 years, I learned the skill. And I was like, if I start business, what's the number one skill I need in business? And we know this saying, right? Nothing happens in business until a sale is made. So I
Right.
learned the skill of sales, and that's how I transitioned from my job into my business. It took me 2 years of planning and working, and that's how I transitioned. And now I'm in full time entrepreneurship. But that was a bit of a backstory that what really pushed the desire in me
Yes.
to build my business. And today
Right.
I want to help others as well, where they want to give back to their family, give back to their community, and business is a way to go. And that's how I share with them. So that's how I entered entrepreneurship.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think you had a story where suddenly you found your father in the ICU, and all of a sudden you were like totally at a loss to understand. You still were not fulfilled in the sense of you what you have given to them, and that made you realize that you had to, yes, fast forward to where you could actually. So does that also become the root from where your niche came into the picture? Because getting into entrepreneurship, how did you understand that this is what exactly you wanted to do? You wanted to help the other entrepreneurs also fast track. So it comes from your own story.
Okay, this is actually a fantastic question, and I want to dwell on this a little bit more. Look,
Yes.
I didn't have the niche, okay? So all I had was I wanted to do something for me, and I wanted to do something for my family,
Right.
you know? And I think that is a very important point to stress is a lot of people, they want to really help the world. But the key here is what I learned the hard way is you cannot help the world until you help yourself first, right? So I started the journey by just me. Hey, I want to get out of this survival mode. Let me find a way where I actually have can able to do something for my family. So I learned the skills. I did it for me. I didn't do it for anyone. I did it for me. I learned the skills. I did it for my family. I did it for my
Right.
parents. It started with that. And in this moment of doing it for myself, I then discovered that, hey, I actually really like sales.
Mm-hmm.
I really like sales. Then people started asking me, can you help me with sales as well? I'm like, sure. I started helping them. And I didn't know I would be in this line.
Mm-hmm.
I just started helping others. And while I was helping others, I
Mm-hmm.
then started realizing that, I really enjoy business. And people started asking me, can you help me? How did you transition from your job, build a business, and show me that? So then I figured out that, hey, you know what, this it became a natural progression. Can you see it? It became a
Yes.
natural progression. And then I was
Right.
like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to actually show people how to close sales in their business, how to get more clients in their business. Building a business alone is not enough. You got to get clients. So I
Yes.
really focus on how do you bring in clients? How do you close more sales? And
Right.
then I realized that the people I really like helping are
Mm-hmm.
people that want to help others. So then I came down to mainly coaches, consultants, agencies. They have started the business to help more people. So I was
Right.
like, hey, this is great because it's all about making an impact. So if I help them help others, I'm actually helping everyone. So that's how I sort of progressed to really finding what I want to do. But the key point I want to stress here is
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to start with yourself first. In fact,
Yes.
you got to start with yourself first. Because if you
Yes.
don't start with yourself, you will not try what you need to do to find out what you want to do. At first is when I started, I was looking, hey, this person is doing this. Let me try this. Let me do it. I started following others, but then it didn't work out till I actually did so many mistakes and I found that this is exactly what I want. So my encouragement to anybody listening here is it's okay to start with yourself first. In fact, that is the first place you want to start with yourself. Because when you do it yourself, that whole idea of imposter syndrome, I don't know how to, that goes away because you've now done it. So that's really how I found what I want to do.
Amazing, amazing. And when the thought of fast forwarding your creation of your wealth for yourself and family had come, how did you find sales or closing for yourself? Did it just fall into your lap, or you were actually looking out what you should do? How did everything materialize actually?
Okay. So the key here is, look, when I came back from Thailand, my dad was sick, and I made that decision. I was still in a job. I was working a full-time job, quite a senior position. So I had a lot of responsibilities as well. Time was of a limit. I had two kids also by then. So I was married. I
Right,
had two kids. So I had this risk also of like, hey, I've got a really great job. What if I transition out and if I don't have a job anymore, and I've got my wife and my kids, like, what do I do? you know so I then sat down and said, look, I'm going to plan. I said the next 2 years I'm going to do whatever I need to do, gain the skills to really transition out. And I went googling, YouTube, like we all do, right? We go watch motivational videos. I'm like, yeah,
yes,
I'm pumped up.
right,
That's what I did. I watched motivational videos. And while watching all this, I saw a lot of business videos.
okay,
And then I came across a video around sales and making money. And all I had was, hey, you know what? If I can just get the first 10K, that would be good. $10,000. And then that's when I realized very, very soon that nothing happens in business until a sale is made. And I
right,
found I found my mentor, Dan Locke, right?
right,
And I was like, this is it. So what if I'm in my job? I can learn a skill on the side and make money. So let's say I'm earning this much, and right now on the side I'm earning zero. When I can make it up to this level, then I can quit my job. And
right,
that's what I did. For the next 2 years, I said sales is the skill. And I've never done sales. Okay. I've never done sales. I'm an
right,
IT programmer. I do database programming, website programming, C sharp, JavaScript, you name it. I've done all that.
right.
So it took me 2 years to sort of learn, practice, and that's how I transition out of sales. I transition out of my job into really sales, because that is the first skill that anybody should learn
Right.
in business, because that's what brings in the money. So
Yes.
that's where I focused.
Amazing, amazing. And you have never looked back after that decision.
Actually, you know what? I'll share a secret, right? I had a lot of moments that, oh man, it's really tough. Did I make the right decision? That is very, very normal. Okay. But once I made that decision, I just kept going. In the moments of when you're low, yes, you
Right,
do feel, it's so tough. But once you go across that hurdle, there's no looking back.
right,
So there will be a period of time when you make the jump, the first, like maybe first month, 3 months, 6 months, self-doubt will kick in. Oh man, I had a lot of self-doubt because
right,
job is one thing, business is another thing, sales is another thing. So I had a lot of self-doubt. I was looking at it, but I'm just going to go forward. I'm just going to look forward. I kept telling myself, look forward, look forward. I had a chat with my wife and I said, give me 12 months. I'm
right.
going to make this happen in 12 months. And
Yes.
we had a lot of ups and down moments, but after like a couple of months, there was like, that's it. I found my way. I'm just going. So after that, it's been no looking back. It's only forward. But yeah, there was a moment that I had self-doubt, but we all have, but it's very, very early stages. But once you overcome that, it's full on.
Amazing. Amazing. So now with Wealth on Command, with which you help people maximize their growth and impact online. Online is the word. I mean, it's not offline. You actually help them do it online.
So I started with online, and I want to actually still do online, a lot of online. The
Mhm.
key here is now the world is like, it's so small now, with
Right.
going online, and the pandemic has actually changed the world
Oh,
completely.
yes. Oh,
In
yes.
Yeah, in fact, it's brought like what was going to happen 5, 6 years from now, it's brought that right now. So if
Absolutely.
if if you're not online, is you're visible. Like, think about this. Even if you're offline, you're
Mhm.
going to go something, you're going to go to the shop and buy something on offline. You're like, hey, let me just go online and find out about something, right?
Yes.
It is so
Yes.
strange. We're going to
Yes.
buy offline, but we go online to find about something offline.
Yes.
Thing, if I have to go to the stationery store, I have to go to the, like, the shop, it's like literally 5 minutes walk, but it's not a 5 minutes walk. I'm rather take out my phone and Google online. So
Yes.
if you're not online, you're invisible. So I
Yes.
want to share with people, if you're offline, how do you go online? If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, how do you make your presence online? Businesses are great. A lot of them build relationship, like B2B relationship, but they're not online. And people who make decisions in businesses, they try to Google you, search you, what do you do? Nothing found, no business.
Yes. I
So
totally
it's
agree.
online.
Totally agree. Because anytime we want to find something, even in our own area, and we do not know about it, the first thing we do is Google near me. Where is this
True.
thing near me?
Yeah,
And
true.
whatever lists over there, we just end up calling them. They get the business, but people who are not online, they lose out on our business.
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
So true. And yes, COVID has really hastened the process of, what was supposed to come. It's already come, and we are in that zone where the world has become a small global village. So
True.
now, how do you really, I mean, help them? In what way can they maximize this impact and growth? What are some of the tools and strategies or things that, and how long does it take for you? Is there any time period that you set with them? So, what are these things that you use?
Okay, great. So maybe let's take a little step back here, because you mentioned about the word wealth on command as well, right? So
Right,
I want to touch base on what is wealth on command.
right,
Wealth is not just money, it's
right.
beyond money. Okay,
Absolutely.
like you say, health is wealth, right?
Right.
That's wealth. Hey, this person's got a knowledge of wealth. Knowledge is wealth, right?
Yes.
For me, I'm a very family person. So time with my wife, time with my kids, that is amazing wealth, right?
Relationship
We
is
build
wealth. Yes.
relationship, we build experiences, we travel. These are memories, right? That is
Yes.
wealth. So
Yes.
that's the angle I'm sharing. Wealth is, it is beyond just money. So the
Yes.
key aspect is, a lot of people want to actually help others, make an impact in this world. That is amazing. But the first thing that they want, I would encourage people to is start with income, right? Wealth on command. Yes, it's money is not everything, but money helps you build that stability in life, right?
Yes.
So it is actually about, the first aspect is, think about yourself, how you can get that financial stability, how you can make that income. Some of them need less, some of them need a lot. It's fine. So the first aspect is, get the income. The second one is, after you've made the income, hey, who else can I impact? Can I get more clients to impact? Can I help people? Can I help communities? That's where impact comes. That's where you make more profits in your business. So you take this profit and you can distribute it to people. You can reach more clients. You can help more communities. You can do more charities, right? So the second thing is impact. And the third thing is what I call influence. Is once you've actually made this impact, the influence is influencing your future generations now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we are having kids. Like, I've got two daughters here. When they grow up,
Mm-hmm.
I want to influence them. I
Right.
want to influence them to say, how did I live my life? You also, live your life in a way that you want to desire. And
Right.
kids, the newer generation, they don't listen to you. They see what you do and then they just follow you, right?
Absolutely.
So the influence is what you do will influence your future generations,
Yes.
right? So that aspect is what I'm talking about, is influence. You can take your cash that you made for yourself, make profits in your business, invest in an asset that will influence your future generation. And by this, when you do, you build a lifestyle.
Yes.
You build a lifestyle where now you've got enough money, you've got great impact, you've got influence for people. Relationship is good, health is good, money is good, you've got time freedom, you've got the lifestyle, you've actually got now the control of how you want to live your life, where you want to do. You've got choices. And this is wealth to me. What I'm showing people is how they can command this wealth
Right.
by really first starting with themselves. Income, impact, influence. And all this, when you ask for how long it takes, it's a journey. Money is something, it's a number. And number never ends. If you chase a number, your chase will never end. So don't chase a big number. Chase what means to you. So it could take 3 months, it could take 6 months, it could take 1 year. Have that focus. In my case, what I'm showing people is, hey, 12 weeks. Work out what is really you want to do. Then for the next 1 year, focus on that. It takes time to focus. And then after you get 1 year, when you focus on your impact, go for the second year, make more impact. Third year, make more impact. And then you continue getting impact and build upon your influence. So it starts with at least 12 weeks to 1 year at the bare minimum.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, beautifully shared. I totally agree, because wealth is never only money. Yes, as you rightly said, it stabilizes your lives to a certain extent. So you are able to focus on the higher things in life. That's so
Yes.
true, because once this is in place, yes, you can focus on the things which are much, much more important. And then you can work on those aspects of your life, be it your health, your relationships, everything, basically, the peace of mind, all of that. But when it comes to stabilizing your business financially, settling your business financially, what becomes more important? Are these the strategies? Are these the skills that you have? Are these the character that you have? What are the things that become most important when you're trying to stabilize everything in the
Okay.
first maybe 1 year?
Okay. The thing that is the most important, right? It's not money, it's not strategy, it's not tactics, it's not tools, it's not templates. The one thing that will keep you going is the desire,
The
right?
burning
Is the
desire of
is the
having it.
desire, or in other words, is the hunger that you want it.
Right.
If you don't want something, like you'll just be lazy. And people who are lazy, it's not that they're lazy, it's just that they don't know what they want.
Right.
They don't have inspiring goals. So the key that will keep you going is that hunger, that yes, I want to go from here to here. Like for me, I'll share back my story a little bit more, right? And this may
Sure.
bring the point back home. When my dad, when I came back from Thailand it was in June 2018, I came back to
Mm-hmm.
Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I told my wife, you know what, I'm going to transition out of my business.
Right.
Yeah, transition out of my job. So I was in my job for 40 hours, right? We work 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But every single week, 40 hours a week in my job, for the next 1.5 year, that is 18 months, I was working 90 hours every single week. So 40 hours in my job and 50 hours on the side closing sales, right? So
Hmm.
I was working 12 to 14-hour days every single day for 18 months straight, because I had the hunger to learn how to close sales.
Right.
I took over 4,000 phone calls in 18 months. That's over 50 calls a week, a
Wow.
full 18 months. So that was, so I'm not trying to boast here. What I'm trying to share is there's no tools or strategies. Just Tools will change tomorrow. There'll be a new tool. What will drive you is your hunger, is your desire, you know. And a lot of people, they fall off. They say, oh, I don't have the desire. There's a technique on how you build your desire, but the desire, the hunger is the number one thing that will keep you going. That's what I would share. That's what I would actually say. Keep the hunger, keep the desire, and build it as you go. And that will keep you going.
Totally agree. And I think a desire is something which is totally organic. It's something very, very organic. It is either you have it or you don't have it. I have seen people who get inspired for a moment, looking at something, someone, very inspiring or someone very motivating. They might feel that, yes, man, I want to do it. But just because they do not have the internal hunger in them, it does not last long. It does not sustain. It
Yeah.
comes down. Only when you have it from inside does it keep you motivated in the longer run.
That's true. If you're okay, I'm happy to share with you how to create that desire if someone doesn't have it. If you want me to share that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they, yes, a lot of times people say that, hey, either you have desire or you don't, right? Let's look at someone who's had the desire. Okay, let's study that person. Like in my case, I had the desire. Why? It's because there was a moment in my life that made me shift my thinking.
Right.
That, hey, if I'm just in a job, I'm not able to give back to my family. I can't do that. That shift, that moment, that epiphany, that aha moment, that is what creates that desire.
Right.
That's what it created me. So if you don't have that desire, for someone who don't have that desire, the one thing that blocks people from finding that epiphany, that shift, that aha moment, you will only get that if you try a lot of things. And the reason people don't have that shift is when they try one thing, what happens here is, and this was with me as well, okay, is when I was trying the first thing, I was like, what if I try? What will that person say? How will I look? What will that person think? How will I look? That aspect of worrying about what other people will say was preventing me in the beginning to try it out. And if you don't try something fully, you won't know if you like it. And that desire will not create it. Let me give you a really example that will relate with a lot of people is, like a job. We've done our degrees. Now we want that job. I really want that job, right? Why? Because we need a job. We need some money, right? That's the desire.
Right.
Once you get that job, you're like, this is not the job I want. Then you'd go another job. Then you go another job. Then you go another, and then you find something in that role that, this is it. This is it. This is the job. This is the job that I want to go. Or this is the moment that I need to quit my job. You see, that moment when they tried so many things without worrying about what other people say,
Right.
the key word is you got to try many things to find out that one thing that it will light that flame internally. A
Yes.
lot of people, if you got to try 10 things, they stop at one. Whether it's 1 or 10 or 100, we don't know, but you keep trying till you find that one thing that will light that flame inside.
Yes.
And that's how you find your desire.
I think I totally agree with this because it has happened in my life as well. I was also working for corporates for a long time and never satisfied, never fulfilled, always felt there was more to myself. I was playing a smaller game and I was capable of doing much, much more. Tried MLMs, I mean, network marketing, tried working for startups, for schools. I mean, tried so much in my life. There's somewhere, I should get that fulfillment. And then finally I understood that I had a passion, to actually be into coaching, and that is what I loved, sharing with people what I had learned.
Perfect.
And yes.
And see, that desire wasn't there. Like you didn't wake up one day and in college you said, I'm going to be a coach one day. I'm going to have this limitless show. This evolved with time, right?
Yes.
And it would
Yes.
not have evolved if you didn't go to a job that was bad, or if you didn't go to somewhere. So all these experiences that we have in life, whether it's
Yes.
good or not good. They are experiences.
They are
If it was not
experiences.
for the good ones, we wouldn't grow. If it was not for the bad ones, we wouldn't be here, which we are growing. So whether
Yes.
it's a bad or a good, it is an experience that from that point has got us to this point. And
Yes.
this is what creates that desire. Like you found yours. So well done.
Right. Absolutely. So now, what, I mean, what according to you are the three most important qualities that an entrepreneur must have apart from the top three skills he or she must have? One thing you said was sales or closing, which is like the most important for anyone in life to be able to close or, sell people. But what are the three important qualities or characteristics, if you might say, and the top three skills apart,
Okay.
inclusive of closing?
Okay. So let's start with the three qualities that an
Yes.
entrepreneur should have, to
Yes.
actually, find the way. So number one is the ability, and this is going to be a counterintuitive, right? The number one is the ability to endure pain for a long time. Let me explain. Okay. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Okay, entrepreneurship is not easy because when you come from a job into entrepreneurship, you're now worried about, hey, where do I get clients? How do I do my branding? How do I do sales? How do I do coaching? What do I need to set up? How do I do my Zoom? And what else, or how do I do marketing? You're thinking all this, right? And when
Yes.
you try everything, oh, there's a great idea, and it fails, you go down full,
Yes. Yes.
and then you get up, and then you keep going, and then you may fall again. And the second time you fall, you're like, this is the idea that is going to work. And you fall real hard, it pains even more, right? And some people don't get up. This up and down moment in the early on is a lot. It is a lot because
Yes.
you're
I
trying to
totally
figure
agree.
out, yeah, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Same thing like me. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, ups and down. So if you're able to endure pain for a long period of time, you will build this resilience in you.
Right.
Yeah? So that's number one, and that'll keep you
Right.
going.
Yes.
Number two is, I would say, be really, really curious. Like this ability of, hey, why this is happening this way? Why this is happening that way? Why this is not like, if you're really curious, you will start figuring out why this is not happening this way. For example, if you're if you've tried an idea and it's failed, the curiosity can be, hey, why did it fail? What did I not do that made it success? Or what should I do to not fail as bad? Or how do I, like, you're the questioning around the curiosity of why something happened. The reason I say curiosity is number two is because when you are building a business, it's not you alone now. It's your clients, it's your
Right.
team, it's your partners, it's your vendors, it's people you do joint ventures with, right?
Right.
Everybody has different issues, everybody have different problems, and everybody, some days they're working well, some day, and like, why today they're at this level, why my sales is here, why my vendor is. So if you are able to come with a curious mind, the result of being curious is you are now not going to judge people, right? You're not going to say it's your fault, it's your fault. You're going to just come from a curious and say, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? And when you do that, you're able to look at it from a holistically and says, okay, let's learn from our mistakes, let's grow. That's how I learned it the tough way. And when I started becoming really curious, like in 6 7 months into my business started growing. So that's the
Amazing.
second skill,
Right.
right? The third skill, what I would actually say, is really having the emotional control. What happens here is you're dealing with people, okay,
Hmm.
all the time. You're dealing with yourself, you're dealing with others. There are a lot of emotions that you're playing,
Yes.
right? You're
Yes.
happy one day, you're sad one day, you're
Yes.
really like shooting for the next 6 months. Your
Hmm.
clients come in. So there's something that number three is really having a very high emotional intelligence.
Intelligence.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're able to manage your emotions,
Hmm.
that will keep you going. That will help you recover. That will help you understand hey, why people are buying from me, why people are not buying from me, why this idea is good, why this idea is not good. It's all in the mind. So when people say mindset, it's actually the third one, that emotional management. So those are the three characteristics I would say. So be really, really in those three aspects, and endure pain, be curious, and have that emotional intelligence. Those are
Intelligence.
the three characteristics I would say that will build your foundation now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful. And what do you think are the top three skills? I mean, inclusive of closing. So, what are the two other skills that an entrepreneur must have?
Look, there are three skills. I'll repeat that. The first one is absolutely sales. Okay. The second one I would actually say is marketing, right? So you can close a sale, but if nobody knows you, you're
Right.
invisible, right?
Right.
That's these top two skills. If you can do sales and marketing a lot, you actually bring it in. But these two alone is not enough,
Right.
right? The third part is a really key aspect. The third part is the ability to build a great team. So what will happen here in business?
Mm.
You're not alone. You're not alone. You are, yes, you need sales. You need to
Mm.
prove that your idea, someone's paying money for it. When
Right.
you've proven that idea, someone's going to pay money for it, let's market it. Let's show more.
Yes.
Once you've done this, you cannot do it alone. You now got to
Yes.
build a team.
Yes.
So the ability to actually build a team that supports your idea in the form of sales, marketing, and operations, everything that will follow after that. So these are the three skills: sales, marketing, and the skills to build a great team.
Great team. Yes. Totally. Absolutely. I mean, you cannot be a lone wolf and succeed all through whatever destination you want to go. Yes, in the initial phases, yes, you can do it all alone as a solopreneur, but there is a time when you need to grow and then the team comes into the picture, a
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
team. Yes.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, right? Uh, to find that great team. Okay, so I'm going to take the skills and I'm going to take the skills and I'm going to take the characteristics and merge it together. Okay, and that's
Yes.
a beautiful question you've asked me. To find a great team, right? You will not. Your first team will not be the best team. Okay,
Right.
because when you're starting out, you're like, oh, wait, I got this one person, I got this one person. Is this good? Is that good? Like, you're trying it out as well. And some people, when you're trying it out in the beginning, you're changing a lot. Some people will resonate with them, some people won't resonate with them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So there will be team members that will stick with you, there will be team members that you will rely on and will leave, right?
Yes.
And when they
Yes.
leave, you're now in this pain that, hey, what's happened? So you're now, your business is in pain. So the skill of enduring pain comes to play now. And
Yes.
then you ask yourself this question: why did they leave? What did I do wrong? How can I improve?
Yes.
And then you bring that skill back in, you get another person in, and then so you see how these two goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, I
that's
think
exactly.
emotional intelligence and resilience of enduring pain, I think that serves you throughout your life because
True.
it's not about just building your business. It's throughout life there will be downfalls, there will be you'll be rising. It's a continuous process. What goes up also comes down. So those phases will constantly happen.
Absolutely true. And this is what it is. People say work-life balance, right? There's nothing as work-life balance. It's actually it's all integrated. So if you love what you do and you follow what you love, and you can solve people's problem, you have this emotional balance, you have these skills, it's all integrated.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, who are you doing it for? You're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it
Yes.
for your community, you're giving back to people, right? And that's the integration.
What do you mean when you say giving back to the people? And is it
So
essential for everyone to give back?
okay, so let's define what give back is, right? So the first person you want to give back is to yourself. Let's give back to myself first, pat yourself on the back. I've done a great job. Let me give back. Second people is, see, by default, if you look at humans by default, they're very helpful people. But people first need to feel that they are in a particular, if they're surviving, they're not going to look at helping others, right? You got to think about yourself first,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And it's okay to think about yourself. You should think about yourself first, so you can actually now come to one level. Once you've got everything you need, once you're able to do, then what you do is we now look at the next person next to us, right? Maybe our parents, maybe our husband, our wife, our kids. That's giving back to them. Hey, we
right.
want better schools for our kids. We want better care for our parents. We want
Yes,
better love relationship for our spouse, right? That's giving back. Once that inner circle is fulfilled, right? Now we look at, okay, how can I fulfill the next level?
right,
The next level become, okay, maybe my clients, maybe my community now, right? Hey, maybe my friend, maybe my friend's friend. So as you grow, as you start, first you look in yourself, then you start impacting people around you. It grows, and that's when you reach this level. You automatically, when you are fulfilled from inside, your family is fulfilled, people around you are fulfilled. Now you want to give more to people, and
right.
that's what I mean by giving back. So when I say give back, is not just sort of going around to communities and give back to, but you don't have something for yourself. No, you give back to yourself first, give back to your
Absolutely.
family, and then
Yes.
do that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It is said that only when your cup is full and it is overflowing, that is the time you can give to other people. With an empty cup yourself, you can never give back.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
need to have it full and you need to have it in an overflowing state to be
Yeah,
able to really, go ahead and give back. Then I think it comes automatically within yourself to do that.
it does. And I'll share you a good, nice joke, right? Like, so my kids, they're 5 and 7, right? And the one who's 5, her name is Reina, and she loves chocolates. Okay, so you give her chocolate, she'll just eat as much, and then after some time she'll be full. And if there's
Right.
another half piece chocolate left, she's like, "I don't want it. You can take it." Right?
Right.
So even a kid, a 5-year-old kid, as soon as they're fulfilled, they're giving it now. Like, I don't, they're not throwing it, or they're not saying, I'm going to keep it for myself to eat tomorrow. What do they say? Hey, take it. So same
Right.
thing in life, right? When you have that amount that you feel that is enough, automatically you will come to the level that you want to help people around you.
Yes.
And we can learn a lot from kids, and I didn't teach her that, she just did it herself, right? And that's who we are as a person, as a human being. And when we look after ourselves, when we look after our family, we reach a level where we now want to impact more people, and that's when we make a difference in this world. That's when we make life better, and that is actually true wealth.
Yes. Absolutely. And I want to also add a point which is very important, which I have always, I mean, I have read about it since long time and it always makes an impact on me. So Bill Gates was asked, who's the wealthiest person in this world apart from you? He said, Ki, I'm not wealthy. There's this guy who I met on the airport, and I always end up going there with $100 bill in my pocket, and I never have change. And first time he gave me the newspaper for free. Second time again I went there a few years later. By that time I was much more successful and a well-known figure. And even at that time I had $100 bill, and again no change. He never charged me anything, he gave me that. I asked him, what can I do for you? I hope you recognize me. He said, yeah, I do recognize you, but I gave you the newspaper when you were not wealthy. Now you are wealthy and you want to give back to me, so there's no comparison between what you can give back to me, so I don't want anything from you. So that's why that guy is so wealthy, even in
Mm.
spite of just selling newspapers. He has a large heart, a heart of gold.
True, very true. Yeah.
So some people don't even require anything. They are so wealthy from inside
Yes.
that
Yes.
their hearts are like full of abundance.
Correct. Yes. And people don't need a lot to live. Some people need just go by with food every day and has a shelter. That's all. Once that is fulfilled, they give others. Some people
Yes,
need more. Some people need, I need food, I need a car, I need a house. Once I've got this, then I'll help others. Some people
yes,
need 4 cars, 3 cars, bags. So it is an internal thing on how much
yes,
it is.
yes,
So it's when I say look after yourself first, it's relatively as well. Some people don't need much, some people need a lot,
a
you
lot.
know. But the basic psychology here, or the basic human, is once that fulfilled, that I have looked after myself,
Yes.
income for myself, and I don't feel scarce, I don't feel like I'm just in survival mode, I automatically start looking at something to help others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So now, why do you, I mean, we already discussed about this. Some people are happy with whatever they have, and they
Mm.
don't consider themselves mediocre. They are the people who feel that, yeah, I mean, this is enough for me. I'm happy in this, and I don't require really, what wealth is supposed to be, and a lot of money or a lot of anything. So wherever I am, I'm happy with that. So, do you believe in limitlessness of the human spirit?
Yeah. Look, it is, there's saying what your mind can think about, you'll actually achieve it, right? I'm paraphrasing it, right?
Yes.
But it's really like, I'll share you a story of, again, my daughter. I use that a lot because I spend a lot of time with my kids, and
Right.
I'm very grateful that I can actually have the lifestyle, spend my kids.
Right.
So my daughter, this is a 7-year-old. Her name is Saira, right? And when she was growing up, um, like, she's thinking, what can I do? So she wants to sort of read a lot. She wants to do all these public talking aspects. She sees me closing sales, right?
Right.
And but she's a little afraid of height. Okay, so I put her sitting on the kitchen top, and then I say jump, and she's really afraid, right? She can do everything, but then she's like, I can do it, and I will do it. I can do it, and I will do it. And my younger daughter, who's like 5 years old, and coming next to her, yes, Saira, I can do it, and I will do it. And then she jumps, and then she does it. So absolutely, at that level, that age, just sitting on a kitchen top, it's like a 2-story building for them, or a 3-story building for them,
Right.
right? It is
Right.
like really high. So
Yes.
the point I'm trying to say is, like, she was so afraid, but as soon as she sort of overcame that in her mind, it
Hmm.
was just like, you know what, I can do it.
Yes.
So that's what, and I truly believe that it comes from inside. And as you grow older, as you actually mature, the materialistic things don't matter as much.
Yes.
It's the connection we build with people.
Yes.
And
So
that brings
true.
out that whole aspect of spirituality thing about the human. you know it's like, sometimes, have you seen, when you meet certain people, you just get talking, like within like seconds, you're like, oh man, I just connect so well with you.
Yeah.
You're amazing. This is where, when you build that internally, when you build from a young age, you vibrate at a different level, right?
Different level.
and
Oh,
and that
yes.
energy is so different.
Yes.
And that's what I absolutely believe in that. In fact, as of late, for the last 6 7 months, I feel I've become a lot more spiritual in that aspect. I still have a lot to learn in this aspect. I
Mm-hmm.
think it is a very, very big area I have yet to explore.
Right.
But absolutely, it is something that I have a very, very close and very calm feeling about this whole spiritual side of things. And yeah, I
Right.
think it is absolutely limitless.
Yes. So true. Uh, Thank you, Dev. So we move on to the next section of our show, which is the lightning bolt round.
Oh,
And
okay, great.
I'll just ask you some quick questions, and you give me some quick answers. Okay. So, what were the three qualities that helped you get the Sales Champion of the Year 2019 awards at that point in time?
So three thing is, really learn, implement, and share. Because when you share with people, you remember, and then you become what you do. So learn, implement, share. Really, three things.
Beautiful. What's the worst advice you ever received in your life?
Oh, worst advice. Oh, this is a tough one. Look, I think the worst advice. Now you got me thinking. No one's actually asked me that question, but a worst advice would actually be, give it up. Give it up. Yeah. I just said, like, there's one friend of mine told me when I was doing a lot of my YouTube videos, right? And he actually said this, you're living in a box. What are
Oh,
you doing? He actually told me that.
Actually,
And
you were living out of the box, and he said you were living in a box.
yeah, and he said, look, what are you doing? Like, just let it go. And I didn't take that advice. But if I listened to that, that would have been my worst one. But that
Wow.
just comes to mind. Yeah.
Yes, that was the worst advice. Who has been the biggest inspiration of your life?
So as of late, right? As of late, it's actually been my dad's been a big inspiration, right? Actually, since young, I've seen him grow, and he's helped a lot of he's helped my parents, both my mom and dad, right? So that's been a very big inspiration to say, look, I want to also be like them, where they are very giving, you know. So that's been a very big inspiration to me, and I want to actually be like them, where I can actually serve more people as well.
Beautiful. That actually brings me to another question, because I've always read about Sikhs, especially the Sardars, as people who are givers.
Hmm.
Even in our patriotic fight, they were like at the top, fighting for the country. And even later, I mean, they've always proved themselves time and again. What is that one thing that you learn in your childhood that gives you that character, that mentality?
So there's actually three things, okay? Not one, it'll be three things. So as part of growing up in the Sikh faith, right? In Punjabi they say Vand Chakna, Naam Japna, Kirat Karna. Yeah.
Hmm.
Vand Chakna means do community service.
Okay.
Naam Japna, connect with your spiritual self, right? Kirat Karna means hard work, right? So if you
Okay.
look at these three qualities, I absolutely every Sikh you see will follow that, right?
Hmm.
So that whole community service which I just said, there's a lot of voluntary work, you know,
Right.
and that has been inbuilt, and that's how I grew up. Even my parents, they live in Thailand, they live in Chiang Mai. All the time they're raising money, they're raising capital for building dormitories, water facilities for autism kids in Thailand, right? So
Okay.
that I've sort of grown up seeing that, and that's how that's just inbuilt now. Yeah.
How beautiful. So, no wonder. I mean, it's inculcated from that seed level. So,
Yes, correct.
automatically, when you are ready to yield out fruit, they have to be sweet because the seed has been sown that way.
Correct.
So
Yes.
beautiful. What are the top three things in your bucket list that you want to go and get fulfilled next?
So I've got a couple, okay? So one is I want to travel more with my wife, okay?
Right.
So that is absolutely there. She's been a massive, 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 massive supporter in my entire business journey now. So we're planning some travels next. I already spent a lot of time with her, but I want to travel Europe with her. We've not been there ever. So I want to, like, she's been there, I've not been there. So we want to travel together with her, okay? So that's definitely there. Number two is, you know, I think the bucket list has changed over time.
Right.
But as I see my kids grow, my daughters, they grow, I want to inspire them and educate them to sort of look after their skills, learn more skills, right? And I spend a lot of time. In fact, what I've done now is I've actually painted like a whole wall at my house into a whiteboard, and we sort of do work on that, like, fun activities. So the second thing is I want to be able to instill the values I've got into my kids. You know,
Right.
it's it's easier said than done, but living in the world today where we're all on social media, we're all so busy. I think with time, the values fade away, and values are what makes us. So I think if I'm able to do that continuously throughout my life for my kids, I think that would be a massive, massive win, right?
Right.
And and the third bucket list I absolutely have is, you see, this whole wealth on command aspect. I've got this big, massive vision that I've got, that I want to build like a wealth commander city, right? Where there's like 20, 100 homes, 25 here, 25 here. And it's like my vision that I've painted, where people get up. Imagine this, right? It's a neighborhood where everybody wakes up and they're like, we are very abundant every day. We're very grateful every day. Our neighbors are amazing people. Everybody's looking after one another. So that's a kind of a community, a physical,
Community.
a physical
Right.
community that I want to build. And this physical community, I want to call it the Wealth Commander City. So this is the first time I've actually shared it publicly, but that's what I want to be able to do. I want to build a physical community in real life where people actually wake up and every neighbor is a wealth commander who's like, hey, we want to make an impact in this world, right?
Yes.
We want to make a difference. We want to have that income, impact, influence. And
Yes.
that's what I really want to build. 100 homes, physical home, a community, multiple locations. That's really three things.
Amen. May
Yeah.
your dream come true very
Thank,
soon and you build
thank you.
this community. So, what would be
Thank
the
you.
top three values that you would want everyone to live by in that community?
There are a couple of values, but the first value is about really, it's about having the purpose of who we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that brings us to this world, it's not about what we do. It's really understand who we are and bring who we are out to the world, because everybody is different. Everybody is absolutely different, right? So
Right.
bring your genuine self out.
Right.
When you bring your genuine self out, sometimes you got to be a bit vulnerable as well, but vulnerable is appreciated. So
Yes.
bring your true self out. That will be
Mm-hmm.
number one.
Right.
Number two is, and this is embedded into the culture and values of my company as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the second thing is we succeed together. Okay,
Right.
so if someone needs help and we want to help, we succeed together. So if I bring my true self out as to who I am, and I look after you and we succeed together, the
Mm-hmm.
third value is actually we now make a significant impact. you know and this is a third value. I truly want to live a life of significance, right? And I want to instill this in the community that I build as well. So bring yourself as to who you are, your purpose, bring it, succeed together, and let's
Make
have a
an impact
significant impact.
together.
Yeah, significant impact together.
Significant impact
Yeah.
together. Wonderful. So, you have been born in Thailand, you have lived in India, now you are in Australia. What is your most favorite food that you like to eat, that you can
Well,
eat every single day without getting bored?
I can have a few foods every single day. I would name I like Indian and Thai, but I'll name one from each. Okay, so I can literally have butter chicken like every day. Okay, I think that's my favorite. There's a dish in Thailand which is called uh, Thai chicken basil. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the dish I can actually eat every day as well. So butter chicken in Indian and the Thai chicken basil with rice is the second dish.
Okay, nice. That's amazing. What are the top three books that you would want to recommend to everyone who's watching you over here right now?
Okay, so books, that's a very interesting question, because the way I recommend books is based on where you are in your journey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you three books as to like start, during, and like very early on.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Mm-hmm.
you're starting out, you remember I shared with you one of the characteristics is about having that emotional intelligence. Remember?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's a book that I read. It's actually on my shelf here. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Yeah.
Daniel
That's the
Goleman.
Travis Bradbury.
Okay.
Yeah, Travis Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
He's written with another author.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional Intelligence 2.0. It's a small book. I think that would be my number one book. Okay,
Okay.
it applies to all aspects of life, because in this world we deal with people, we deal with our own emotions.
Right.
So that would be my number one book that I would actually recommend. Okay,
Hmm.
number two book is, if you are actually, let's say you are in, so there's multiple books. Okay, but let's say number two book, if you're coming into business. Okay, so the second book, it's a little harder to read. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually called The Art of War.
The Art
Okay,
of War.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
strategy book around
Mm-hmm.
business. So that's
Okay.
what I would actually, it's more about understanding the strategies behind business, what to do, what not to do. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the third book I would actually recommend is, you see, when you're dealing with people, you're in business, the third book is really about persuasion, right? So there's a book called Influence, right? That's
Right.
the book that I would recommend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these three books, I would actually say, emotional, manage your emotions, right? understand the strategy of
Of
business
business.
and really learn how to persuade and actually get, because you got to build your team, you got to close sales, right? So those are the three books. So different categories, those are the three things.
Amazing. Thank you. And just the last one is whenever, if at all, you're feeling low, what is that one thing that you do to bring yourself up fast?
So, okay. One thing, there's actually a couple of things I do. One thing that I still do regularly, right, is I actually watch a movie. Yeah. So I'm a big movie fan. Okay. So
Right,
sometimes I'm feeling a bit low, is I will just turn on a good movie. And when I turn on a good movie, it takes me away from all my work. It switches me off from and I'm just enjoying a good movie, you
right.
know, and that just switches my mood away from however I'm feeling and it brings it in. So I like that. The second thing I like to do is I like to listen to Bon Jovi music, that
Okay,
it's rock music. It just gives me into a different mood. So I like to do these two things actually. I watch a
nice.
movie or I listen to Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
So
it's
Bon
my
Jovi is my
life
killer,
now or never.
yeah. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much, Dave. It was phenomenal. Thank you for sharing everything from your heart. Just one last message that you want to give out to the audience who's watching you here.
Look, there's a quote I live by. Okay, I absolutely live by it. The quote goes like this, right? If something scares you and excites you at the same time, it means just do it. So
And
that's the
why do
quote I
you,
live.
can you elaborate it a bit?
So this means that if you are actually trying to do something, you will have this feeling that, so like when I was starting my business, right, I was a bit scared, but I also was very excited that I can live my dream, right? You will have this moment that you will feel scared and you will feel really excited. Oh man, I want to do, but what if it doesn't do this? Oh, what if
Yes.
it this? Oh, but what if I get this? What if I get this? But this? Oh, what this? But you will have these feelings all the time. This is
Mixed
normal.
feelings of scare, I mean,
Mixed
fear
feelings,
and
right?
yeah,
You will
excitement.
feel
Yeah.
scared, but you will
Yes.
feel excited also. If
Right.
you ever feel scared and excited, then it means you got to just do it. And that's what I've been living by. So my encouragement to you is if you feel scared and excited at the same time, just do it.
Great. Thank you so much. Makes a whole lot of a sense. So it becomes easier for anyone that, yes, if it is only fear that I'm feeling, then I need to think. But if I'm feeling excited, then yes, this is the right thing to do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me
for
here.
joining us on the show and imparting this golden nugget of wisdom to all the audience over here. Thank you. And
Take
you
care.
have a good night. I know it's very late in Australia. It must be more than 10:30. So you have a great sleep.
You too. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey audience, so I hope you had a great time of grateful in whatever he does, and he's been impacting loads of lives. So if you could pick up even one thing from whatever he shared and put it, into action in your life, I'm sure you'll see tremendous results. So I'll see you once again next week, that is coming Wednesday. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi to each and every one of you. May Lord Ganesha bless you with abundance and lot of health, wealth, and lot of blessings. Be limitless. Take care. God bless. Bye bye.